Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Future Tech Podcast. I'm your host, Juliette Lamar, and joining us today is Amit Kanodia. He is the founder and CEO at Host Games. Welcome to the show, Amit.
Thank you, Juliette. It is wonderful being on your show.
Thank you so much for taking the time. For our listeners, why don't you go ahead and give them an overview of Host Games and what you guys do over there?
Right. So we are the only host. I'm again, for all your viewers, I am the founder CEO of Host.Games. We are the only online casino gaming blockchain protocol for emerging markets. We are the fastest growing poker-based platform in India. And now we are moving to the blockchain space wherein we are building both a decentralized application for the blockchain for the online casino gaming market, as well as building a protocol on which other decentralized application can build on and offer their products on the blockchain.
Very cool. And is it only casino games you offer, or are you offering other games as well?
So it's mostly casino games that we have focused on, but the way we are building our application, any game that can be wagered on can be fit on top to on our platform. So basically, we are a publishing platform wherein the initial set of 5 games are something which we'll build on and continuously try to improve on. But apart from these games, any developer or any studio who wants to put their games on top of our platform can put them as well.
I see, and that's how you're implementing the blockchain into this gaming.
Yeah, that is one of the uses. But ultimately, the use of blockchain is to bring about trust and transparency into the system. So in a traditional fiat-based platform, there is a lot of ways in which users and different participants of the gaming ecosystem can be cheated of their money. There are a lot of times when they deposit money into the system and do not get that back, or they have a huge problem in doing any kind of mobility of the funds or money over the traditional gaming system. So blockchain solves all of these problems. What happens in a blockchain-based environment is that the funds of users remain in their wallet, so they have full control of their money. And when they go out and play the games, there is lesser chances of them being frauded of anything. The other thing is, because it's a gaming environment and it involves money, there is always a chance of house or other participants in the system cheating them of their money. So we bring in a lot more transparency into the system by bringing in a provably fair random number generator, which is the core gaming engine of any casino game. So these are some of the benefits which blockchain provides to the traditional form of online casino gaming.
I see, and you're talking a little bit about how people can come and build on your platform. Is that also correct?
Yeah. So any developer or any studio can build on top of our platform and provide their games. We are providing a full set of documents which they can follow to do that. Those games will be vetted by us. They will use our license. They will use our players, and there is a revenue share with them. So and they use like a wonderful user experience and user interface that we are building for our game as well.
Yeah, you're building a really trustworthy and interactive community when you're allowing people to
Absolutely.
come and build games on your platform and then having this secure and traceable transaction for winning.
Absolutely. So that is one of the most important things to us. What we have realized is the traditional online casino gaming and other forms of gaming have not developed enough, and they've not reached their full potential because of some of these big hurdles in the industry, which are like trust and transparency on one hand, and then for a lot of other developers, reach to a lot of market participants. So we are trying to bring together a platform wherein all of these participants can come together and interact in a way to build a very vibrant community. So the application we are building, just to throw some more light on that, we are building an application wherein anybody can come on top of our platform and host their private mini casinos for their friends and family and make all the money out of it. So basically, like in a if I have to explain it in terms of an example, if you were right now playing on PokerStars, for example, which is a top poker site. So the game is hosted by PokerStars, and anybody can join the game. So the game is very centralized, and everybody has a chance to play on the same table. As opposed to what we are building is, if anybody can come on top of our platform, host a private club for their friends and family, and only the people they invite can play in that particular club. And the guys who are hosting it, they make all the revenues, and we as a technology platform, we only take a very, very small service fee out of each one of these games. But the idea is to bring a lot of these casual games online and take a very smaller piece and let anybody on the ground participate in the casino economy.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And tell us a little bit about your platform as far as, are people using it on their phones? Is it mostly on desktop? How are people accessing these games?
So we've taken an approach of making it a mobile friendly and mobile first approach. So obviously it would be accessible on any platform, including desktops, whether it's Windows or Mac. But the idea is we are crafting this app for mobile users first, because our insight tells us that mobile usage and internet usage, especially in emerging economies in the last few years, have grown up considerably. Pretty much anybody who has any disposable income in these economies have a mobile phone, mobile device, and as well as an internet connection. And they are conducive to using that for a long period of time on especially casual games such as casual and entertainment games such as casino games. And for all of these people, the most important part is the recreational players who sort of fund the system. They love to play on mobile. That is why we are taking a mobile first approach, and our whole platform is even the hosts who have to host a game for their friends and family to come and play on that. They don't have to write any code. They don't have to fill in complicated things. They can just go on a platform, choose a few options, and host a club for their friends.
Oh, very, very interesting. Give us a little background about yourself. How did you find yourself being the founder of Host Games, and where did it all begin?
It's a very interesting journey for me. So I passed out of one of the top business schools of India in 2010, studying finance and being in a hedge fund industry before, and getting into an investment banking job. But I had learned the game of poker in my business school with my friends, and I saw that India, the game of poker was just about taking off, and I was I knew it was a skill game, and I thought if I could learn the game, I could probably crush all the market, and that is what happened. I worked really hard in my free time to learn the game, and I realized that I'm better than most of the people who had probably not put in the same kind of work. So I took up the game professionally. I enjoyed playing it for over a large number of years. And that was my introduction to the whole gaming industry. I found the industry highly entertaining. B, there was a lot of skill involved in games, especially such as poker. And C, I realized that there were a lot of gaps in the industry with my knowledge in terms of business, and even my family background is very entrepreneurial. So given all of these backgrounds, I thought I could fill in these gaps. And 2 years ago, we started this company, and our go-to-market product obviously was poker. And as we matured, we thought that we realized that blockchain would be the next technology which would fuel the games of the future. That is why we are building on the blockchain now.
And you also have a token sale going on. Is that still happening?
Yes. So we've just started our private pre-sale, and this is at the moment we are only raising money from strategic investors. So there are multiple casinos around the world, as well as multiple strategic funds which have already invested in our project, and we are continuing to bring on board a lot of other strategic partners, and then we will move on to the next stage of our pre-sale. So we hit our soft cap very early on in the project because there was a very, very good reception for the project amongst the investor community. So yes, the sale is on for strategics right now, and very exciting times for us because we want to raise this money and build world-class products.
And tell us a little bit about the casino partnerships that you're pursuing and how all that works.
So what we've realized is the idea is right now the whole blockchain industry is at a very nascent stage. We need to build a lot of infrastructure to make sure the apps on blockchain match the applications on the real world, and B, bring about widespread adoption so that people see the benefits of using these apps and these things on the blockchain compared to the fiat-based counterparts. So as far as this infrastructure is concerned for gaming, I mean, we have taken it upon ourselves to build the infrastructure for gaming. So we want to start with a decentralized application, which is a peer-to-peer gaming system wherein anybody can host a game and have their friends come over. B is like build the protocol wherein other decentralized applications can build on top of our protocol, which is very, very gaming-centric and provides a lot of benefit over the other public blockchains that are available. And C is like do a lot of casino partnerships and bring about adoption to the whole ecosystem. So what we have realized is casinos in especially emerging markets act more like how the banks would act for a payment system. So casino is where most of the gaming operators operate out of for most emerging markets. And once we have casino partnerships and once we have acceptance of our token in the casinos, we are creating a system by which both the casino benefits in this process and we benefit as well. Because we bring in liquidity and players to the casinos, while on the other hand, casino gives us like a participation in their economy as well as adoption to our token. So it's both win-win situation. And when we do this kind of a scenario, it brings about a lot more adoption to the host token. And at such an early stage of blockchain development, I think adoption to the token is one of the most important things to further the host gaming network to the world.
That's fantastic. And working in the gaming industry has a lot of very specific challenges. What are some of the biggest things that you've learned by working in this space?
So some of the challenges which I thought I had was like initially when I was playing poker, there was a little bit of a stigma with respect to poker, but because people didn't understand that it was a game of skill as much. So a lot of my energy went in educating people about how poker is a game of skill and not a game of chance. Apart from that, you always have to be wary about regulatory challenges across the world. Each country, even in a country, each specific state, for example, countries such as India, which have multiple states, have multiple rules and regulations. So we have always taken it upon ourselves to make sure we follow every rule and regulation to the letter and the spirit. So that is always going to be a challenge, and there is always these rules and regulations keep changing as well, because governments, it's a very sentimental point to the governments of various countries as well as states. So we have to always be cognizant that we don't, violate anything which is laid out in front of us.
And give us a sense of, the amount of players and users and bets that are exchanging hands every day on your platform.
So as of now, we have a fiat-based, which is like a rupees INR-based platform, which is live. We have been in the market for a little over 1 year with this platform, and the total amount of bets wagered on our platform is a little over $100 million, and the total amount of revenues we've made during this course of the first year of operations is a little over $2 million. And we have been the fastest growing poker-based platform, online poker platform in India during this time, and we've sort of become the top 5 players in India as well.
That is fantastic. So if people want to get involved, they want to get into your token sale, or they just want more information, what is the best way to stay in contact?
So first of all, if anybody is interested in our platform and our token sale, I would urge them to go on our website, host.games, check what we are doing. There is a 2-pager and a light paper there. Download those and try to look at those. Then there are a lot of social media handles wherein they could go and ask any questions. Our Telegram and Twitter handles have been super active. There are a lot of participants asking a lot of questions. So if anybody is interested, they could go there and ask questions. But if there is any detail or any specific questions they want to ask, they could always go to info@host.games to ask any generic query. If there's something specific anybody wants to ask me, they can email me at amit@host.games. So I would be excited and happy to answer any questions which anybody has. And similarly, we have a very vibrant community on our Telegram and Twitter channels, which would be delighted to have more participation from the members of your channel.
Amit, thank you so much for joining us here today on Future Tech Podcast and sharing your wealth of information about games and this exciting platform that you have here.
Thank you, Juliet. Thank you for having me. I hope it was useful to your viewers as well.
Absolutely. That is Amit Kanodia. He is the founder and CEO at Host Games. Again, you can find them at host.games. This has been Juliet Lamar, Future Tech Podcast. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology Podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.